Bumbling Babs.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself,
June 2021.
now, as you mentioned before, the flat Earth protagonists or the leaders, they act as guides. They teach you the flat Earth epistemology, and they tell you how to think and what to think. Now, the problem with this is that it's one-dimensional.
Are you high right now?
If the flat Earth leaders are teaching how to think and what to think, isn't that two-dimensional?
Oh, son of a... That's gonna leave a mark.
What is it that's causing there to be more particles of gas at sea level than there is at higher altitudes?
Because the atmos gases are produced then released at or near the surface. Additionally, the volume at or near the surface is drastically lower than any points or sections higher from the surface.
The pressure comes from the weight, and yeah, that does in fact require the force of gravity.
Wrong. Gas pressure is not caused by weight. It's caused by gas molecules hitting the walls of the container. You, or anyone else for that matter, can't even define weight. Gravity doesn't exist. It's never been scientifically validated. Even if it did exist, the current pseudoscience, Einstein's general relativity, states that it's not a force. So you're about 106 years out of date with your continuing education credits.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself,
You know, gravity's not
Yeah.
a force, so where does that leave you, my friend?
why is it not a force?
You serious?
Why is it not a force? You got triple-decker fallacies here. From logicallyfallacious.com. Proving non-existence. Description: demanding that one proves the non-existence of something in place of providing adequate evidence for the existence of that something. From cuny.edu. So the burden of proof rests with the person making the claim and a positive claim. It is shifting the burden of proof for the person making the positive claim to insist that those who deny the positive claim have the burden to prove that the positive claim is false. So you have the positive claim of fairy tale gravity force. It's not anyone else's job to disprove your complete argument from ignorance fallacy. Clown.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself, right, and why does there have to be a container above the flat Earth?
Because we have gas pressure, and the necessary antecedent for gas pressure is a container.
Why can it just not be? Well, why could it be? Why could it not be an open system? I don't see why you guys have a problem with that.
Well, that would be a second law of thermodynamics violation. From the legend, Professor Frank Lambert, entropiesite.oxy.edu. Gas expansion into a vacuum. Mixing of ideal gases or liquids, diffusion, effusion, colligative effects, and osmosis. Each fundamentally involves an increase in entropy. Yada, yada, yada. You see, gases will naturally always increase entropy and fill the available volume. According to the fairy tale Narnia Baltard religion, that volume is 3.58 times 10 to the 80th cubic meters. If the Earth was an open system, then that volume becomes immediately available to be filled. It's not filling that available volume because we have gas pressure and are still breathing. Ergo, the entire heliocentric Baltard spinning space monkey religion vaporizes. Simple. Capiche?
It can still work,
Only in Narnia.
and it makes a lot more sense to me that it's an open system. If there was a container, the pressure would be uniform everywhere. It wouldn't be there wouldn't be a
everywhere.
pressure gradient. It wouldn't be pressure. It would all be uniform if we were under a container.
Fuck.
Don't you think so?
No, I know so. And not if there was a container. There must be a container by definition and experience. The gas pressure would be uniform in a closed static system like a container of compressed air, but the Earth is a closed dynamic system, meaning it has many cycles, oxygen, CO2, water, nitrogen, etc., making your appeal a false equivalence fallacy. Additionally, appealing to gas pressure gradients, delta X, when the question is concerning the existence of X, gas pressure, is a red herring fallacy, irrelevant diversion from the mother begging the question fallacy. On a personal note, these simple concepts based on the consequences of natural law, reconciled within 10 seconds by incoherent second graders, were explained to you ad nauseum at least 30 times on FED. 5 to 8 of those by me. You're either dumber than a bag of hammers or a willfully blind, purposeful moron.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself, although flat earthers claim to be free thinkers,
Stereotype fallacy, flat earthers, which invariably leads to a baseless bare assertion fallacy and or a conjured incoherent straw man.
they are in fact dogmatic and closed-minded because they can't think of anything other than flat Earth.
A twofer. Well, I'm a flat earther, and right now I'm thinking of pulled pork smothered in barbecue sauce with fresh macaroni salad. There goes your second grade fallacious train wreck.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself, and the worst part about this is that flat Earth isn't even based on any evidence. So all flat Earth evidence has plausible explanations on the globe. So in order for flat Earth to be considered or to be taken seriously, what flat Earth needs is something that's unambiguous, something that isn't open to more than one interpretation. So if we consider the black swan, for example,
I'm your huckleberry. That's just my game.
which is like the number one best evidence for flat Earth, let's just say that because that's what they claim is the best evidence. That has a plausible explanation on the globe.
Go ahead, skin it. Skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Because if you say that the globe is a specific size, therefore the horizon has to be a specific distance, that is true if you completely ignore that we live in an atmosphere that causes refraction.
Shocking. I would have never guessed. Bagak! Refraction. In the paradoxical standing contradiction atmosphere. Atmo means air. Air is a gas. Sphere is a shape. Gases have no inherent shape.
For example, if I take a coin and I measure that coin with a ruler, and it turns out to be 2 inches long.
Sounds like a personal issue.
But then I take a magnifying glass and I look at that coin through the magnifying glass, and it later on appears to be 4 inches. That shows you that, you know, light bends in a specific way in a medium, and it causes things to appear differently than what they normally would look like if that medium wasn't present. So this argument is solely dishonestly based on ignoring the fact that we live in an atmosphere and that atmospheric refraction is a reality.
Really? Now all you have to do to recover your bagak refraction, clumsily ignorant false comparison fallacy from the belly-laughing second grade non sequitur abyss, is to show how the standing contradiction atmosphere is made of glass and where the glass-air interface is to calculate the refractive index.
Now, if you're an intellectual like myself,
Hello. It's for you.
Yeah?
You've just been erased.